All right, an ugly day in the markets today, but that doesn't mean we don't build a watch list for tomorrow. And by the way, I'm very proud to have had a very nicely green day today without shorting. That might make me sound stupid because I should have been short, right? But I don't know, 4 or 5 trades and didn't short at all, and it met my daily goal, so it was a nice day. Um, True, which is one of the stocks I traded today, goes back on watch for tomorrow. You talk about relative strength. I mean, the market just got slammed today, and TRUE held up extremely well. So I'm looking for this one to kind of break through this excuse me, this pattern here to the upside. So True goes on long watch, especially if the market isn't particularly weak tomorrow. The market bounces tomorrow. JD I also have on long watch. Made this nice run from 22 to 26 Tuesday, and then kind of a quiet inside day today. And again, relative strength is important here. Market was super weak, and this thing held up really pretty well all day. So I want to watch that one if there's any market strength or market bounce. JD for a potential long. And then 5 bounce plays. DGLY back down between the 8 and 20 day moving average. With all the news about police cameras and everything, any given day this could have another wave higher, or at least a big bounce day. If you notice, it hasn't broken a previous day's high in like 4 days now. I usually switch to 15-minute candles and look at the early highs. Put a line there. So this was the top. Then the very next day, the early high was established in the first 30 minutes or so. Same as yesterday and same today. So what I want to see is an early high established, whatever price that is, sideways move, and then an upside break later in the morning or the afternoon, and then I'll get long. So I'll just have this on a chart working for me, or it won't be working for me, depending. But it'll just be sitting on a chart unless and until it meets those criteria I just mentioned, and then hopefully we'll get a nice little trade out of it. Verizon VZ. Let me pan out a little bit here so you can see. This thing's done really well every time it gets near or slightly below 46. 2 big down days today. When this was at like 45.80, I told everybody I'm not a swing trader, but Verizon looks really good down here, even for a trade. Now, I didn't take it, but it did rally nicely from there. And I was already up nicely from a morning trade, and I just didn't really feel like giving any money back. But down here is about where I set it, and it climbed higher. I want to watch this one if there's a bounce in the market for a potential bounce higher tomorrow. UPL. Now, this is one of those energy plays. If I go out on the weekly here, today I think it pierced the 2013 low, but when you go back to the daily chart, this thing's just straight down to get there. So any oil bounce or any of that sector bounce, UPL, I really like. You notice today, it kind of had a little bottoming tail. And watch the close here. If you go to 5-minute candles, very nice close. So I want to watch that one for any bounce in oil. I'm going to be UPL will be my go-to trade. ENB didn't trigger today, but just back on bounce watch. Filled the gap now. Did have a nice bounce from its lows here, and so I want to watch that. It just goes back on bounce watch tomorrow. Remember, when I have a stock on bounce watch, if it doesn't meet my intraday criteria, I just don't trade it. So it doesn't cost me anything to have it on watch. And then lastly, ATLS, another energy play. So I've got a couple on watch. Didn't really mean to, but this one, I think Leon Cooperman, an investor, bought like almost 500,000 shares right around $30. So that would have been probably a couple days ago. And now you've got a couple big down days again. So this is another energy play on bounce watch. That news might lift this one if there's any bounce in the energy sector as well. That's not a big list, but I don't want a big list after the SPY has done this. 202 is kind of interesting. That was a high back here. And so if it gets down to 202, that's a place to look for a bounce. But I'm not that worried about the SPY. On an intraday basis, we just look for the setups that we know to look for, and we trade them when they present themselves. Otherwise, I'll sit in cash 2, 3, 4 hours at a time. I don't care. But there's a decent watch list to start with, and we'll find other stuff as the day unfolds. All right, have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.